So you see this brake hose. Well, it's junk. I know it looks fine, but it's junk. Let me show you why it's junk. This is why it's junk. No move. Why no move? Well, it's one or two things. This brake hose is swollen on the inside. It's swollen up and closes up the gap, and it will let fluid in the caliper because they always do let fluid in the caliper. But if it's swollen up on the inside, it won't let fluid out of the caliper, and therefore it gets stuck. Because how the caliper works is fluid goes in, fluid pushes piston puts friction on the rotor stops car. As it's basically turning rotating energy into heat, is what your brakes do. And well, what we have here is a swollen brake line, very common on antique cars and anything with old brake lines on it, really. Um, and the reason I know it's the brake line is I've already taken this caliper off, unstuck it, put it back on, it got stuck again. And I've done that multiple times, and it's definitely this hose because it's old and it's definitely swollen. And I haven't even been driving the car; it just gets stuck sitting here. So, hose. It's not like I've been touching the brake pedal. I haven't. So, and we go to this other side. Same thing. I've unstuck the caliper a couple times, and it's still having trouble. And if we look at this hose, we can tell. Well, I can tell. I can't see on the camera, but it's old as hell. So I know that this one's also swollen on the inside. So if you have a locked up brake caliper like this, or locked up drum brake, check your brake hoses. 99% of the time, it's the hoses. The other 2.3% of the time, I know that makes no sense. It's not supposed to. It's funny. This is usually not your problem. Though I had one get stuck on a Volkswagen Beetle, so this can happen. It can be the caliper's fault, but usually brake hose. And it can happen on drum brakes too, especially if your car's like this car. And this car is a swing axle, so it's got a brake drum on each side, obviously, like any drum brake in the rear car, but it's also got a brake hose on each side, unlike a solid axle. A solid axle would have one brake hose in the middle. This one's got one on each side because it's a swing axle. So there you go. There you have it. That's all you need to know about brake hoses. Unless they're leaking, the only way these ever fail is if they swell up on the inside. And I've had more of them swell up on the inside than I have had leaking.